Okay, so one of the things or one of the platforms that I really like that I don't spend nearly enough time on is our home gym or Reddit, specifically our home gym, because I think it's a great place for our community to gather. And honestly, the reason why I'm not on there is because I'm busy doing way too many things. But I try to keep up as much as I can with what's going on there. And speaking of what's going on, I've got Joe Gray, one of the mods from our home gym, and also the grand poobah of the garage gym competition. Joe, what's going on over there? It seems like we got some bad actors.
Yeah, so pretty common for people to try and take advantage of the very large sub that we have. So it's a little over 1 million subscribers. It's probably about 50-50 people who know what they're doing and are trying to take advantage of it, and 50% of people who honestly don't know. They don't know Reddit, they don't know what they're doing, they don't have any idea, and they try and use it like Instagram and kind of mess up. What has been happening over the last couple of months is two brands in particular, Kepi and Major Ludi, which I believe is now called Major Fitness, have been trying to skirt the system by pretending to be something that they're not, which is essentially showing up and saying, I'm a regular everyday person. Hey, I have this equipment and I really like it. What has shown itself over the course of these last few months, by means of myself and the other mods doing research, is that these are not regular users. These are people who are in some fashion affiliated with the brands. You can tell that what they're trying to accomplish is they're creating backlinks and trying to improve their SEO and all this fancy smancy stuff that essentially they thought they were going to get away with, but they don't, for a whole number of reasons. Um, Basically, the moderator team is smarter than they are, and we have caught it and have taken care of it. Normally, what happens is in the beginning, when that stuff happens, we just kind of remove comments. Then it results in a ban of some kind. Um, they always get a message that says, "Hey, don't do that." Then it turns into, "Hey, you did it again. Get out of here." When they continue to do it over and over again, we then have to implement further actions. Kepi and Ludi or Major Fitness have done it so much over the last couple of weeks that I actually did an Instagram post calling them out and tagging them. And I got feedback from other moderators on other platforms, like on Facebook, saying they were doing the same thing there. Now, John, you don't know this piece, but I got another piece of the details this
Oh,
morning. A message from Major
I just
Fitness.
talked to you last night.
I know it came in this morning, saying that it was, I think her name is Abby, who is in charge of their social media,
Okay.
saying we didn't do this. We don't do anything on Reddit. We're not there. We know about the platform, but that's about it. And asked for further details. I gave her the details and essentially told her the stance from the mod team, based off of our research, based off of the information from other people, etc., is that even though you're claiming you didn't do this, there is really only uh, two options. You either have someone internally or someone externally working on your behalf to do this. So they might not be doing it, but I'm sure, John, you get emails all the time like I do. Hey, I can create backlinks for your website
Yep.
and do this thing and all this different stuff. So my guess is that's what they did. Maybe she isn't aware of it and it's somebody else in another department or another
Okay.
team. I don't know. I don't know how far this stretches or anything, but everything we can see says Major Ludi, Kepi are really going hard on trying to take advantage of the system, and we have implemented things to make sure they cannot do that. So,
Um, so let's unpack a couple of things. I know I only have you for a short time, but we're gonna and you guys who are watching this, because this is going to air on the morning show. So you guys who are watching this, I want you guys go ahead and start putting your comments in, and then Joe's gonna come back when we finally he drags himself out of bed. He's gonna come and he's gonna look at the comments in the chat, and he will respond to the things that you guys say if you have any follow-up questions that I forget to ask. So the first thing is, they say they're not doing this, but from the images that you posted on Instagram and the stuff you sent me last night, it looks like, as far as someone pretending to be a normal person, it's a comment like, and it's you mentioned it's on the older posts. So somebody will come on and it's a post.
Yeah.
Somebody makes like, "Hey, well, what do you think is a great power rack for a start? Someone starting out?" And
Yep.
they'll come on and they'll say something like, "Oh, I recommend you check out this rack. I really love it. It's on Amazon." And they put the link, and it's to a major fitness or a kepi
Yep.
rack, right?
Yep.
Or it's, and this one uh is a little bit more annoying, but I think it's not necessarily as harmful. Well, not in the beginning, but it's a little bit more insidious. They want to build street cred, so they'll make posts on comments that are, things like, I don't know, like haha or a good point or
Yep.
something like that, so that they have a volume of comments. So now they've got a history on the platform,
Yep.
and then they'll make a post that says, "Oh yeah, you definitely should get this rack from such and such."
Yep.
And again, the danger, as I understand you saying it, or the danger as I understand it, is people aren't aware that this is a contractor who is paid to increase traffic to this product,
Yep.
right? It looks like it's just some regular. I mean, you got a million people on our home
Yep.
gym, so it looks like it's just one of them being helpful,
Yep.
like the rest of the community is.
Yep.
Okay, um, that's so. Is that accurate? Like that's what's going on?
Yeah. So if you do a Google search and you search best, power rack for a home gym, something to that extent, you're gonna get, you know, Garage Gym reviews, you're gonna get Garage Gym Lab, you're gonna get Gluck, you might get something for myself or yourself or whatever it might be. You're also gonna get Reddit results. And so those Reddit posts are almost entirely from myself because
Okay.
I've been a mod for so long. I do all of the what we call targeted talks. So it'll say exactly that. What's the best power rack for a home gym? If you were building XYZ, how would you do it? If you were going to buy a barbell today, what would that be? Things like that. And so they're doing essentially Google search results research, seeing that they could fill in some of their stuff on those Reddit posts for basically free, right? And going
Yeah.
in there. I get flagged because again, I made
You
those
made the
posts,
original
so
post,
I
yeah,
get the notifications.
yeah.
So that's where we started to see them pop up more often was in those. And so anyone who's not familiar with Reddit, or even if you are, you probably know it's not common for you to search for threads that are 4, 5, 6 years old. um, it's a new, like social media, right? It'd be really weird for you to go on someone's video from 7 years ago and say, "Hey, good job," right? It just doesn't make any sense. So they're trying to sneak in, add that into the layer, hopefully disappearing. And then, as you mentioned, they're also trying to skirt the kind of built-in moderator settings. So when you create an account, there's a lot of things in the background that it looks at. Have you posted on any other subs? Do you have a certain amount of what Reddit calls karma, which is just you get points for posting and things like that, as well as length of time your account has been opened and all kinds of things. It's a way for the system to go, is this a person or is it just a bot that's just posting over and over and over and over and over again? Is it getting banned and then making a new one and doing it again and banned, doing it again, banned, doing it again? So it's clearly a actual human being. It's not a bot. They're going in, they're doing nonsense comments and posts and other subs to try and say, look, I'm a normal human being, and they're not. So um, they're not the first ones to do this. They're just the most resilient and most, I guess they're one of the few that I actually know the name that has come back over and over and over and over and over and over. So
Got you. All right, so that was the first thing, and then this is the last one from me. Um, because you said Abby said, "Hey, it's not us. We're not doing this."
yeah,
And the problem with that is that you guys were able to trace the persons making some of these posts back to someone on LinkedIn, and you were able to get information from their LinkedIn profile that indicated, yeah, 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 no, no, it is you. It may not be you, Abby, but
yeah.
it's somebody who is connected to the company. So unpack that a little bit for me.
Yeah, so when this kind of first started, before these comments, this flood of comments that we started deleting and then taking action on, we had a couple of users who I would say are real people and real users, but they weren't being truthful about who they were. So think if like you showed up tomorrow on Reddit and actually let's scratch that. Say Bill Henninger showed up tomorrow on Reddit and created a user account
Bill
and just
Henniger, the guy
started
who founded
bla-
Rogue.
yeah, and just started
Mm.
blasting about how good Rogue is and how quality it is and you guys should really look at this company Rogue, right? But his account name was like John, likes cheese 12 or something, right?
Yeah,
Something not connected to him in any way, shape, or form. If he just pretended to be somebody else, but was commenting all about how good Rogue was, that's what these people were doing. So this was a few months back. There was a couple of them regularly very happy with Major Ludi Fitness, Kepi, and several other brands, all in the same boat of these like direct import type companies. They got asked a handful of times, "Hey, you got to tell us if you're working with these companies because this is not typical behavior." No, 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 we're not doing that. Okay, are you sure you're not doing this? No, 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 we're not doing that. We end up getting a tip from somebody else. It comes in, we look through it, we find out, okay, this guy's LinkedIn account who works with these companies has a background in like three or four different things. He works for the companies, he works in these other businesses. This person's Reddit account happens to be constantly pimping out and promoting these companies, and the other subs that he's on are the other areas that this guy has experience in. So I think I told you it was like marijuana dispensary, and there was one or two other things.
yeah,
So it was one of those, there's no possible way for us as moderators to 100% emphatically guarantee that that person's LinkedIn account was this person's Reddit account, but the similarities were way too close and in such a awkward random assortment of experiences for it to not be that person.
right.
And when asked about it, they denied it. And so what we ended up having to do was just saying like, you can't keep doing this, right?
Mm.
We're
So
we're pretty
again,
far.
not to cut you off,
Yeah,
but you asked this person about it. He said, "No, it wasn't me,"
yeah,
which is eerily similar to Abby say, "Oh
yeah,
no, I had no idea," right?
yeah.
Um, which is completely possible,
Yes.
but it's just unlikely with the first guy. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
There have been that's why the first time this happened, it was just a behind the scenes moderator discussion. A handful of the users had pointed it out to us, like, "Hey, are you going to do something about this guy?" And we had replied back, like, "We're looking into it. Right? We don't make rash judgments. We don't instantaneously get rid of people who are on paper appearing to be helping. Right? We make sure we do our due diligence. That's the nice thing about it, not just being me or one other mod, it being a full team. But having that couple of months ago, having what's going on in the last couple of weeks going on, having feedback from other groups on other platforms of the same things happening and them having to do the same actions. It's just, I mean, They can deny it. I don't believe it. So
Gotcha. All right, and let's look at it just. Uh, oh, I said that was the last one. I lied. So because and this, to me this is important because I'm doing this as a way to kind of spread the word because I was serious. I do think that our home gym is an important place for our community to gather. Um, the home gym community is very diverse. You got
yep,
people who have different levels of introversion. You have people who have different interests. You know, like there are people who like to nerd out on equipment all day long,
yeah,
right? Our home gym is the perfect place for that. And ironically, that also makes it great for a beginner because you can go there and see what the common trends are
yeah,
for what equipment is, right? Some people don't like Reddit as a platform, period. They
yeah,
rather go to Instagram. They want to see
yep,
pictures to motivate. Okay, great.
yep,
Anyway, so I think that our home gym needs to be preserved because it is a place where people go for advice.
yep.
And so as a result, I'm in sort of a different situation, not difficult at all, actually, but sensitive in that we actually have a review for Major Fitness that's supposed to be coming out on our channel on Monday.
Yep.
But I didn't want, and I knew this was going on, and I knew what I was going to say. Like when I posted on Instagram, like, well, I don't want to be hypocritical and say this is bad, and then post a video from them on Monday.
Yep.
That's no bueno, right? So I'm just being clear. I'm like, all right. So number one, I wanted to get full information from you. Number two, I wanted other content creators who watch this show to be able to say, to make their own decision about what they're going to do as far as working with Major Fitness because they are reaching out to everybody,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yep.
Um, and then the third thing is I want you to tell us to help guide that second piece of the puzzle. Like, well, what's your best case scenario for what happens? You know, you talk to Abby. What's the best case scenario? What do you want them to do? Major Fitness to do, and
Yeah. So
Kepi.
we I don't want to shame another company, but we had another company a while back doing AMA, relatively new to the space. The AMA was okay. They started making fake accounts and commenting on their own AMA and
This is the
throwing
greatest bunch of answers ever. I
yep,
got you.
and
Yeah.
throwing softball questions at themselves, right?
Right.
So it was, "Why is your power rack such a great deal?" And, all these different things.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
they got annihilated, right? And so the cool thing I found over the years is that the community as a whole is really intelligent, right? Beyond myself, yourself, etc., who might try and stand out here and say we're experts, like there are a lot of people who know a lot and don't talk about it on YouTube or Instagram or anything. They're just members and comment on things.
Yeah.
So those questions from a moderator stance were obvious, from a user stance were obvious, etc. They came back, they apologized, they realized that they messed up, and they've since redone a lot of the things that they've originally started off as doing from their marketing stance. That would be my take for Major Fitness, Kepi, etc., is to stand up and say, hey, yeah, we did it, right? Somebody's got to own up to it. Whether like I said, whether this lady Abby or anybody knows or doesn't know, I can't confirm that, right? I worked
Right.
in large organizations. I know not everybody knows every single button that gets pressed, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so there's a very good chance that she's being truthful, right? But as a company, I just don't see that they're doing the right things. So I would ask that whoever knows that this is happening to stop. I would ask that they come out and say, "Yep, we did it." For whatever reasons, right? We're
Mm.
gonna stop. And if they own that, then they can have the what is already built in place way for them to interact with the community. We have AMAs. They can reach out to me, and if they have questions and stuff like that, I can help them navigate how they interact. And they say, "We're Major Fitness, and we want to answer your questions, and we want to be a part of this community, and we want to recommend our products and whatever." There are ways for them to do that correctly, appropriately, which is one of the reasons why in my post I mentioned Ashton from Freedom Fitness, Bells of Steel, and Rep Fitness as good examples. These are Rep Fitness is a huge company, and Ashton is one dude, right?
Yeah.
And they both manage to do it correctly. So it's doable no matter what size you are to be a part of the community, do it right, be truthful, honest, and upfront about who you are, your motives, the whole deal. So that would be my request for them. Um, I never blame anybody for working with anybody for any particular reason. Everyone's got to put food on their table. If you're a content creator and you got a good connection with them and it's working, I get it. You don't gotta be as into the community aspect as I am and yourself. Um,
But you know what? Honestly, look, long term. Well, okay, this is a separate rant, but
yeah,
we got time for it. It's that if you have, it depends on how you present yourself to the community.
yeah,
It's one thing if you are straight up, hey, look, I'm selling you a product, and I may believe in the product, but I'm making no bones about the fact that I'm selling you the product. You have plenty of people who do that. They're like, let's say it's the person who's doing the uh for some reason it's like like women, like they'll have a post or whatever, and they're standing there staring off into the distance, and the whole point of the post is to say, this is my outfit that I'm wearing and you can get it. Okay, whatever, right?
yeah,
Or I'm sure you've done that too, Joe. You stand off,
yeah.
you stare majestically out of your garage
Mine's
door, and you're
fat,
like the
so
whole and you're like, hey, outfit, shirt, you know whatever, right? And it's like the shirt and colon in the name of the brand and that kind of
yeah,
stuff, and they're selling the product, right? Okay.
yeah,
And then there's the other reviewer or the other content creator, and they claim that their purpose is to be an independent reviewer, giving impartial information that's not affected by whether they're paid or not,
yeah,
right? Which is what I am,
yeah.
or at least what I try to be, as impartial as
Sure.
possible. Yes, I still get paid for reviews,
Yeah,
but they're paying me for my time.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They're not paying me for my review, and that's in the contract that I sign with everybody. So I think if you are claimed to be the second person or the second type of content creator, then it's in your best interest to prioritize your uh how the home gym community perceives you, or you're going to shoot yourself in the foot,
sure.
because if nobody trusts your judgment, nobody's going to watch your videos,
Yep.
right? Whereas if I just know that you're selling stuff, but the hook is that I get to find out about new products from you first, then I don't care that you're selling it. I'm here to see the new thing.
Yep.
And that's okay. Like, hey,
Yep.
he's always, man, it's like a store. Man, I
Yep.
know if I want to get the latest stuff, I go to that store. It's got all the latest fashions. All right,
Yep.
cool. No big home shopping network. I don't go
Yeah.
in there expecting impartial information,
Of
but I
course.
know I'm going to probably see stuff I can't see in a store that might be cool.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what I'm saying is like important. And I just wanted to give some nuance to what you were saying about not having to be as into it as we are,
Yeah.
because it matters
Yeah.
depending on how you plan to pursue a career. You know what I
Of
mean?
course. Yep.
Uh, um,
Yeah.
so with that being said, uh, I think that the now what I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and we'll sign off of here, and I'm just going to take it to the comment section. I want to hear what everybody else has to say, and like I said, I'd love it if you'd be able to. I know your time situation and all that,
Yep.
um, but if you are able to come on, and just check out especially if you're to jump in the live chat, that
Yeah.
would be awesome. Um, because I'm having later on in the show, Nice Like Mike is gonna be on,
Nice.
and I'm gonna bring this up with him as well. And so
Cool.
that'll be about 6 a.m. your time.
Yeah.
So, if you can just swing back around, circle the block, Joe. All
Uh,
right. You know, and if you can restrain yourself, you shouldn't wake your little girl up.
yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah. Mike and I have talked about the affiliate game and all kinds of stuff before, and so
Yeah.
I'm sure he will have a quality point of view on it.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
yeah.
yeah. That's how he got on the show. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'll
There
be
you
coming
go.
up later on today. But man, I
Cool.
appreciate it. Before you go, I let everybody do this, so I'm gonna let you have a chance. Go ahead, tell everybody where they can keep up with you, the Garage Gym competition, which you're right in the middle of doing. I guess tallying and
Yeah,
results and tabulating
all
results
the
right
data
now.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're in the
so
middle of doing that. So give an update for that. If you want people to
yeah,
check out the YouTube channel, have at it. It's all
yeah.
yours.
Yeah, so as I mentioned in the beginning, John said so. Joe Gray, Gray Matter Lifting, the three places I tend to push people towards. One is Gray Matter Lifting, so it's my website, that's my Instagram, that's my YouTube. You'll see me lifting, farting around with my daughter, doing crazy stuff, as well as product reviews, helpful articles, the whole deal. Number two is the Garage Gym competition. So it's a virtual powerlifting meet for anybody who lifts at home. That's what this is. No, I grabbed the wrong side. There we go. That one right there. I that was last week for the spring. Next week is prizes. So this week is me cleaning up everything and doing all the data and all that fun stuff. We have another event coming in the fall. It is free. Tons. We got $17,000 in prizes per event. All you got to do is lift, and I also donate on your behalf to nonprofits. So it's kind of a win-win there for you. And the last one is what we were talking about all day today, which is Reddit or HomeGym. I'm a moderator there. I do a lot of the fun stuff like the targeted talks and schedule the AMAs and to work with companies and all kinds of cool things, and as well as keep things clean in the background. Chat with a whole bunch of cool people that love home gyms probably more than they should, but that's kind of who we are, right? So those are the three places you can find me spending most of my home gym online life at. Yeah, there you go.